What's up guys, Marty here, and I am. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about my super tiny multi-tool, the Leatherman Squirt, and we're just going to be going over all the features and why I carry this with me when I'm out on trail. Once again, this is the Leatherman Squirt. This is the PS4 version. There's a different version as well, so just look at the difference between the two and see which one's better for you. It comes in a few colors and weighs 2 ounces. Costs about 40 bucks. Usually can find it on sale for about 5 bucks off, and it has 9 different tools on it. So going over those different tools, firstly you got spring assisted needle nose pliers. You got a high carbon little knife on here. Not super sharp from the factory, and I've had this for a couple years, haven't sharpened it, still does plenty for what I need, and I'll get into why I haven't sharpened it. Then on the other side you got a metal and wood file. Then on the other side you got a flat Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver with a bottle opener, and you got a pair of scissors, spring assisted. So I've had this for a couple of years. There's no real wear and tear on it, as you guys can see, and I actually pretty much EDC this by throwing it in my pants pocket most of the time, and I also just keep this in my shoulder strap pocket when I'm hiking. And as you guys can see, it still pretty much looks like new. Getting into how I use it and what I use most often. So the things I use most often are the knife, the scissors, and the needle nose pliers. The scissors are mostly used for cutting threads or opening certain packages, or pretty much any time that you need a pair of scissors. Then for the knife, mostly just use that for opening packages, whether it's from Amazon, or even sometimes those like dehydrated meals, those kinds of things. Sometimes those can be a pain to open up and never tear off just right, so that's where this comes in handy. And then probably most commonly used, and why I carry this with me every day or out on trail, are these needle nose pliers. So not only do you get the needle nose pliers, you get regular pliers and you get wire cutters. Those don't really get used all too often, but every now and then you just need a pair of needle nose pliers, and I actually use these instead of tweezers. The reason I think this is more handy than tweezers is I actually use these to grab a needle when I do need to make some field repair, or just even at home. Use the needle nose to grab the needle with thread already attached, and to use that to feed that through the material. And then using the knife and the needle nose, that's actually how I get splinters out. So what I'll do is, depending on how deep it is and how hidden it is, I might have to use the knife to make an incision, where the sliver is, and then using the needle nose pliers part, grab that sliver and pull out. And you can see you're able to grab to a pretty fine point. They do come all the way together, which is super handy and helpful. And then at the further back you get, there's a little bit more of a gap, but right up in the front they come to a point. If the sliver's bigger and it's not that deep, then you don't need to make an incision. Then just the spring assisted needle nose pliers. In my opinion, a multi-tool that is not spring assisted, whether it's for the pliers or the scissors, is pretty much useless. And so having these and being able to use them one-handed is super handy. Especially, again, you have a sliver, you can't use both hands to operate it, and then trying to close and then open, getting your finger in and out of there can be super annoying. The reason I never sharpen the blade is because it is such a small blade, and it does move. It's non-lockable. So just to avoid accident or injury, never really sharpened it. It's decently sharp. I mean, it comes to a point, which is the part that I would say I use the most often versus, you know, the bottom or the back of the blade. But last thing I want is for this to slip and then go in deep into my leg or my hand or my arm or whatever I'm doing. Just remember to always cut away from yourself or off to the side, never towards. And you do that, and most of the time you're not going to have an accident. Awesome little tiny piece of gear. I know for those ultralighters, 2 ounces is going to be heavy, but they all carry that Victorinox mini Swiss Army knife, and this is only about an ounce more, 1.2 ounces more. And to me, you get way more functionality out of it. You get a blade that's more usable, pair of scissors, and in my opinion, those needle nose are better than any pair of tweezers. That's my review of the Leatherman Squirt. Again, I've had this for a couple years, and it still looks like new. Costs about 40 bucks, weighs 2 ounces, comes in a bunch of different colors. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.